Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Empowered in Health. I'm so glad you're here as always to join the conversation about all things wellness from the inside out. Today I want to talk a little bit about how do we actually work on our inside out health when there is so much information out there. I'm actually running a free group this week over on Facebook where I'm dipping into sharing my unique coaching methodology. I'm sharing more about the strategic partnerships I've been building inside my coaching program. Amazing brands and amazing coaches, amazing products that I know wholeheartedly serve women and really target what we truly need for our female physiology. And so this has been one of the best experiences I've probably had so far on my coaching journey. Just being able to really get intentional with women, really talk about the hurdles, really talk about the overwhelm, kind of unpack some of the things that we've learned along the way that maybe we need to shift out of, right? That maybe really isn't serving us anymore. And so I've been hearing from so many women in this group about their unique experiences, right? Symptoms that they've been managing, their experiences with doctors where they've been written off or not really given a plan related to the symptoms they're feeling, related to how they're just kind of unglued in their body and their brain. And it's been so eye-opening to go through this experience and to really dig deep. And to most importantly know that we're normalizing this conversation. We're getting honest about how we really truly feel in this season of our life. We're talking about what can happen on so many different levels inside our bodies and our brains when we go through hormonal shifts, when we go through different life transitions from, if we go back all the way to puberty, to early adulthood, to postpartum, and then even a couple years out of having babies, then you get into midlife. There's just so many different seasons and life transitions that we go through as women. All humans go through life transitions. Our health evolves, our bodies evolve, our brain evolves. And so we have to be really talking through what does that experience really feel like? And so I'm so incredibly grateful to be able to dig into this community this week and talk to these women and get honest about, again, what we have to do to really take care of our health. So one of the things that I've actually been doing every day is I've been, asking for feedback throughout the group. I really want to hear what's been working inside what I'm sharing as a coach, what still feels overwhelming, what would you like to see differently, right? What's actually serving you? And I've been getting incredible feedback, incredible comments, great ideas on things to change, things to improve, what's working, what needs to continue to evolve, those kinds of things. And one of the most interesting pieces of feedback that I got in one of the surveys was this. It said something along the lines of, I love what you're sharing. I love that we're unpacking these different buckets to wellness. I love that we're really getting honest about reflecting inward and saying, what are we doing from a fitness standpoint? What are we doing from a nutrition standpoint? What are we doing from a lifestyle standpoint and supplementation standpoint? And even more than that, what are we doing from an intentional rest and recovery standpoint with protecting our sleep and then overall stress management? What does that look like, right? And so we in this group have been talking about all these different components. So we've been learning a lot, right? Unpacking a lot, digging up a lot, reflecting on a lot, unpacking and doing a lot, like I just said. But one of the feedback pieces that I did get was this. This is such great information, but how do we do this when there are so many different things without getting burned out, right? How do we do this when there's so many different pieces to the puzzle without burning ourselves out? And I will share my honest experience here. Over the past 3 years, I've been doing a lot of this digging and uncovering on my own. I felt so unglued in my body again as I, reached 38, got into midlife a little bit more, perimenopause, all of those things. I felt completely unglued again. And this is one of the things I shared in my story inside my free group, is there was a time in my life postpartum where I felt amazing. I felt so good. I had the resources, I had the tools. I was into the habits and into integrating wellness into my lifestyle. And I felt amazing until one day I didn't anymore. And so I had to go through this whole process of learning again and unlearning things that really weren't serving my body. And quite honestly, so much of the initial work I was doing was on my own. It was lonely. It was hard. Like, I wasn't really supported during that time just because I didn't know where I could actually get support and resources and speak to others who were maybe experiencing what I was experiencing, until I found the strategic partnerships that I work with now. And getting introduced to this information and connecting and linking arms with other women who get it, who have gone through it, and who have been there were my saving grace, right? They were my saving grace. And so, speaking from experience, I 110% understand this question of how do we do all this without burning ourselves out? And I'll be the first to tell you, I got to a point of burnout. I got to a point of exhaustion. I got to a point of feeling like I don't know how to do this. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's important. I don't know how to take the next steps in order to really serve my health, right? I was figuring out so much of it on my own in the beginning. And then as I slowly got connected and I slowly started to really link arms again with strategic partners who understand the female physiology, who understand women's health, who understand the science on women, right? That's when it changed for me. And so here's how I would answer that question. How do we actually work on our wellness and all of these moving pieces without getting burned out? We do it together. One day and one step at a time. That is truly what I am here to do. That is what I am creating inside my coaching program. A place for women to come in and get honest and intentional about how they feel, be supported in that, and then we come up with a very strategic and simplified and intentional plan to help you really think through what's going to serve you best right now based on how you feel, based on what you're uniquely managing, and how are we going to really work together to come up with a plan that feels good, and most importantly, that you feel supported in. That's why I'm pivoting into what I've been doing. I want to make this entire transition for women so much easier, because I speak to women every day who feel completely alone and unglued and stressed out and exhausted and just over it with trying to figure it out with doctors that aren't really supporting them, or other people in their lives that don't necessarily understand because maybe they're not going through the same thing, or really just feeling completely isolated in what their experience is. Here's the thing. As I've shared, in every transition of our lives, especially as females, especially with our female physiology and hormonal fluctuations and infradian rhythm and our 28-day cycle and all of that makes us incredibly unique, right? The things that we experience in every single stage of our life is real, very, very real. From like how we feel in our bodies to how we feel in our brains and how our health evolves. And so we need to continue to talk about, in a very open, real way, what do these life transitions look like? What do they feel like? How can we make them a little bit more manageable? What can we do to make them feel better? How do we set ourselves up for success for long-term health based on what we're learning over time? And I'm a firm believer in let's share the stories. Let's get real. Let's dig in. And then let's figure out, what do we intentionally need right now? So if you're sitting there and you feel like you're overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, you feel unglued in your body, but you just don't know how to take any action, or you're feeling like, I don't know how to work on these different pieces to the wellness puzzle because there's so much to do and I don't want to do all of the things and get burned out, that's when I say to you, we do it together. That's when I say to you, it's time to link arms and really dig in together. One day at a time, one step at a time. And that's really what I've been introducing inside this free group, my coaching program that I'm formulating, and the unique coaching methodology that I have been called to, bring to fruition, because again, I want to simplify this for women. I want women to have one place where they can come in and say, I know that I'm going to get supported here. I know that I'm going to get incredible recommendations here. I know that I'm going to get targeted and specific educated practitioners that I can work with through this specific community. I know that coming here, the research has been done, the products have been vetted. I understand that these specific resources, these coaching programs, these partners, these brands, products, etc., are for women because they've been created by women. And that's been one of the things that I've implemented into my coaching program and my overall wellness brand. I am creating a program and bringing in partners that are by women for women and families who greatly understand the deeper rooted mission of serving female physiology and the importance of understanding that our health is extremely individual. And we have to be doing things in a very unique, specific way in order to serve our wellness today, tomorrow, and into the future. So I wanted to share with you guys this message today because I loved that feedback inside my group, and I love that question because it's an honest question that we all feel. It's an honest question that I have seen people say, right? And I have felt in my own life. How do I do this without being burned out, right? How do I focus in on what I truly need? We do it together, right? We do it together, one day, one step at a time. And I want you to know, if you're interested in learning more about the coaching work that I'm doing, my program coming up, the strategic partners that I'm putting into place inside my brand, I would love to connect with you. All of the details are in the show notes of this podcast to get information on how to get on my newsletter list, my wait list, all of the things that I have coming. There's some great opportunities to work on your fitness in a very strategic way with your female physiology, to work with practitioners and a functional medicine doctor who really understands hormone health and female physiology, my coaching program, and then strategic brand partners that I'm going to be announcing out more in the next couple weeks. And I'm so excited to continue to share all of the extremely intentional ways that I want to continue to serve in the women's health space. I hope you guys have a great one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.